It's back again. Liquidate all assets with Guru and Dibs, episode 44. What's going on, Goo?
You know what it is. I missed you, but number 44, there's only one and only. So many to choose from. Reggie Jackson. And that's
Oh,
the number
nice.
44.
Yeah, I thought you might have gone Willie McCovey. You know, the Willie
Yep.
Mack Award, Willie McCovey, of course, number 44 here with the Giants as well. But so many great 44s. Newhouse, the Dallas Cowboys running back.
With the neck brace.
Was,
he had the big neck brace, thick neck brace.
Yeah, exactly. He was a 44 as well. It's Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs, brought to you by Livermore Casino, 3571 First Street in Livermore, downtown Livermore. Follow them on the web at Livermore Casino. The phone number is there. Come in and see us at Livermore Casino. Goo, so much to get to here on this edition of the podcast. Where do you want to start?
Tonight's game, which I think is a pivotal game between Miami and Boston. And then we got the Warriors looking to close out Dallas tomorrow. But Miami, Boston, Dibs, to me, and you hadn't asked, I think Boston is the better team, and I want to see a Warriors-Celtics finals. But Miami, 9-2 against the spread, home underdogs, and that's what they are tonight. But with Hero and that gimpy hammy and just the injuries to Jimmy Butler that he seems to keep playing through, I think Boston is ready, and this will be the game that they take the 3-2 lead. So I'm taking the Leprechaun and the Celtics tonight.
Yeah, I like that pick with the over-under of 203.5. By the way, Boston favored by 3.5. The Heat are 4-1 against the spread as home underdogs with a plus 7.5 point margin. So the trends would tell you that the Heat are maybe the smarter play as far as the trends go. 21-11-1 against the spread following a loss. 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games after a loss. But I'm also going to try and beat the trend, Goo. I think Boston is the better team. I had Boston in 5 actually at the start of this series. So I'm also going to lean with Boston and think that they're going to be able to right the ship against a Miami team that may be a little bit less healthy than Boston is.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll never understand the mystery of Duncan Robinson, who I think can play. He showed us he could play in this league. And for whatever reason, I do understand matchups, Dibs. But when I watch Miami and him not being utilized, I just don't get it. And, he's got length. But I'll leave that, I won't second guess Eric Spoelstra. But you know me, I love my uniforms and I love story franchises. And I'm just, if you give me Boston against Golden State in the finals, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it'd be a tougher matchup for Golden State, but I certainly would love to see that. I think it would be a more interesting series. So I'm all about Boston getting it done and getting through. What about the over-under, Goose, sitting at 204? Seems like a low number to me if Boston's going to win this game, although we've had blowouts throughout the course of this series. It feels to me like, Boston might be able to put it on Miami if they're going to win this game. The over feels to me like a little bit of a better play at 204.
Yeah, you know what, Dibs? Saturday, I was on the losing end of the in-game over when the others came in and start jacking threes, and guess who was a part of it? Duncan Robinson hit a 3 with like 30 seconds. Like, why are you taking the shot? Anyway, I'm with you. In Miami, they got a flat tire last game to be stuck on one for like 6 minutes. So I do see a lot of points in this one. Even in the end, if it ends up being a blowout, which I don't think it will, but I could see an 8-10 point game. I like the over in this one.
Robert Freeman weighing in. He likes Boston tonight as well. And we do want to shout out our producer, Evan Giddings, the great Evan Giddings, who is holding it down. Thank you, Goo. I can only wait so long for the E shout out. It's the way that has to go. But it is Liquidate All Assets here on Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs, brought to you by Livermore Casino, downtown Livermore on First Street, Tri-Valley's only poker destination, offering also blackjack, 3-card poker, baccarat with no player collection. Enjoy their 24-hour gaming floor, full bar, and restaurant with indoor and outdoor patio seating. Watch all your favorite games at Livermore Casino 7 days a week. Visit us at 3571 First Street today in downtown Livermore. Livermore Casino, Tri-Valley's place to play. Please play responsibly. Of course, Goo, that game coming up in about an hour and a half, Boston and Miami. What about some player props, Goo?
I love it. I'm looking at Jason Tatum, and right now I got 7 assists, Dibs, minus 123. I don't know what you have it at. Tell me what it's showing there, but I like the 7 assists for Jason Tatum. If Boston comes out and they're as thorough as I think they are, you know, a lot of Miami defensive attention will be on him, rightfully so. But if you've been watching him, he'll make a pass or 2 or 3, and I like him going over 7 assists. I could kind of see him going out in style, taking a 3-2 lead in a triple-double, so that would obviously be 10 assists. But I like the 7 over minus 123. Dibs, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I see it here on our site, you wager at 6 plus 106. So you can actually get it at an even better price on you wager. I've got at least 6 assists. Jason Tatum is plus 106. I'm going to go ahead and fire away on that right now because I think that's a good line. What about points for Jason Tatum? Over under 28.5.
Wow. You know what, Dibs? I'm looking at the Williams brothers. That's what I call them for Boston. I'm looking at Horford. I'm looking at Smart, him being John Wayne, and I'm looking at Brown. But I also feel like Spoelstra and company at home know they got to stop Tatum. I call him baby Scottie Pippen. So that all the numbers always in the NBA seem high when it talks about the points for the player props. I'm going to go under, Dibs. And that doesn't bode – that's not a bad thing for Boston, but I believe the wealth will be spread out and he won't get them many points.
Yeah, they got Jaylen Brown rather at 24.5. His over under. One more on the points tip. Jimmy Butler over under 25.5. The under actually is the heavily favored at minus 130. 25.5 for Jimmy Buckets. Does the injury scare you away from making a play on this one?
You know what? It doesn't. And the fact they had a debacle offensively and just game-wise, a no-show last game, Dibs, I think he's going to go out there. I think he gets that number. But the most frustrating part of it as a gambler is when it is a blowout and they don't even get the minutes or the opportunity because they just kicked it away. But I like the over in this one for JB.
Nice. And the over, by the way, for the team total is most likely going to be the way that the trends would tell you to go. The over has cashed in 10 of the last 14 Celtics and Heat meetings, and this one's sitting at 203.5. So right now the money, maybe the smart money, leaning toward the over in Miami and Boston. And again, Boston favored by 3.5. The over under at 204.
I love it, and I can't wait. This is going to be, you could say it obvious, but I really feel like whoever wins this has control of the series and is playing with house money in the sense that, you got a game to play with to close it out, and then also the 2 best words of sports, Game 7.
Yeah, it's a pivotal game, and Game 5 right now is going to be going on here in about 2 hours' time. Boston taking on Miami with a chance for either team to go up 3 games to 2.
Question for you, Dibs.
Yep.
Hashtag random. I apologize. I got to do this. So we're seeing the Western Conference with the Warriors. It's done by TNT. And we get Kenny and Chuck and Shaq. Hey, how you doing this? And we get them, and we get Kevin Harlan. I appreciate the 2. And then on the flip side, ABC, and I love Bream, Van Gundy, and my guy, Hand Down, Man Down. But I don't know about, and I like Stephen A. I like Jalen. I like Mike Wilbon. My question to you is, which one do you prefer? Because I'm torn. I like the post game for TNT. Love Harlan. But I think I like the play-by-play with my guy Van Gundy, Mark, and Bream. How does the Dibber see it?
Well, I like Breen. I prefer Kevin Harlan on TNT. I think he's the best in the business currently doing it. But I don't necessarily love Stan Van Gundy and Reggie. That to me is, a bit of a pass. If I could have my dream crew, it would probably be Kevin Harlan and Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy together. No Reggie Miller. And, the Michael Wilbon, Stephen A., that's a tune out to me. Even though, and I don't love Charles Barkley. I don't get caught up in a lot of these pre and post and the halftime shows.
You know what? Now I'll say this because it used to it was just a prerequisite. But I don't know if I'm getting older, Dibs, or I'm seeing the shtick of it all. And I like to clown around. Guru's Grice as a shtick. But my point is, you kind of see it ain't as important to the game as I once thought. And this goes for football and everything else. I'm tuning in game time or kickoff time.
Right. And more, and that's kind of the way people are doing it. Especially with social media being what it is. We all have a chance to have our own pre and post game show for the most part. However you want to get your content going. Robert Freeman loves Hubie Brown. I love Hubie as well. Even though he's a little bit long in the tooth, he still is absolutely bringing it. So,
this is the back cut. See, Curry comes down the lane and throws it to Clay. You see, Clay comes off the pit. That's my Hubie.
that's a Howard Cosell. I'm going to give you a 1 for your Hubie, and you get a 2 for your Howard Cosell.
Oh my goodness! It didn't even register. It was Howard.
Yeah, your Cosell was incredible there. It's Liquidate All Assets. Guru and Dibs here. Brought to you by Livermore Casino, the Tri-Valley's place to play. Game day special Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Get a hot dog for $2.50. Chili dog, just an extra $1 at Livermore Casino, First Street in downtown Livermore. Well, let's skip ahead, Goo, to Thursday. The Mavericks are at Golden State in San Francisco. Warriors favored by 6.5 with an over-under of 215 and a hook. What do you think about tomorrow's game from the city?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I really believe the Warriors are going to win this game, but it's not going to be as easy as I thought. And I'm telling you, and I've revisionist history, react to new information. We saw the Mavs make 23s last night. They were hitting from deep, but they also made a conscious effort to go to the basket. And I know the Warriors got good defensive players, but team-wide defensively, I feel like you can get to the bucket. And to Dallas's credit, they did that yesterday, and they got off to a slow start, and I thought it was nerves, and I was hoping the Warriors could take advantage of it. With that said, Dibs, I remember game 2 in this building that they'll be in tomorrow night. Chase, they were up 19. So now I'm looking at Dallas. It's not 3 games at one time. It's 1 game at a time. And if they make shots, Raymond Ritter, the great Raymond Ritter told me, Goo, it's a make-or-miss league. But when Dallas does make what I deem these wide open threes, it's a ball game. So I'm interested to see if Dallas is going to take the confidence, which I think they got from yesterday. The 6.5 scares me. I like the over in this one big time, Dibs.
Yeah, 215.5 is the over under. And, the Warriors, they want to go a little bit more up tempo. Dallas showed an ability to shoot in game 4, which is why that game went over the total. And Dallas, a little bit weak defensively late in that game, allowed it to be a lot closer than the score would have indicated early on. By the way, the Warriors 19, 15, and 2 as favorites of 6.5 or 7 points or more. And by the way, the over, to your point, 14 and 6 in the last 20 meetings between the Mavs and the Warriors.
I love it. And I'll say this, I kind of talked to you earlier, maybe I'm just old school, Dibs. I thought Steve Kerr, I got to be careful here, not messed up, but didn't stay with the hot hand, rewarding the second string players that came back from 29 points to finish that out. I would have liked to see Steph and the rest of the gang kind of just ride it out on the bench. Your thoughts?
I was in the same boat as you, and I heard you and Steiny today on 95.7 The Game debating it and talking about it.
Incredible.
Yeah, I thought that they should have just let the bench guys go through. But the other part of that is that they had all played about 9 or 10 minutes. They were getting to be pretty tired. Not a lot of normal rotational players play that much time in one stretch, let alone bench guys. So the thinking was maybe they were running out of gas, but I like the way they were playing. They were playing great, and they took it to Dallas. I would have liked to see them get a chance to close that out.
And Dibs, what about this part? Dallas didn't know. I felt like when Curry came in, it was an alarm clock for Dallas. Like, oh, we know, okay, it's serious. We know what he's going to do. When the others were in there, they were baffled. Like, I don't know what Moody likes to do. I don't know what. And I think they took advantage of that. Just my
total. No, you're right. And the confusion of like, what do these players do? And the scouting report maybe wasn't as thorough with Moody and Lee and Bielitsa and the rest of the guys. That's actually it's a good point. And, it sure seemed to be working up until that point. You brought the starters in and you couldn't recover. But either way, that was a fun fourth quarter after a pretty bad day.
You know what? It was a bad day. And before we go any further, Dibs, I just want to say thoughts and prayers, and we talked about it today, to all the families that were victimized yesterday at the elementary school in Texas. And Dibs, also thoughts and prayers to you and people like myself who we don't know what that's like. But Dibs, I have been thrown off by just my heart going out to those folks who have to deal with anything like that. And your partner, Willard, I didn't even know, had to drop his kids off at school today. Our kids are grown, but that had to be tough, Dibs.
Yeah, really tough. And I could see when he walked into work today that he was definitely feeling it. Wow. He was feeling it in a real way. And what you said today, too, in the crossover hit me in the cardiac muscle, if I can borrow from you, when you talked about, like, what if it was somebody of your complexion who was the one responsible? Wow. And I know that the youngster, the 18-year-old involved, is Latino, but just the constant sense of, these mass shooters, these white kids who get apprehended. Meanwhile, people of color who do far worse. I mean, some of these people aren't doing anything at all. Breonna Taylor is sitting in her own house. And, we could talk about all the different cases, and I don't want to, bring this fun podcast down to that level.
I appreciate you, brother.
When you said that today, that really hit me because, I obviously don't have to live in that sphere, but you're 100% right in what you were saying.
Yeah, and I go to the gentleman Dylan who went into the church and killed those people, and they took him to Burger King.
Right.
The guy in Buffalo, and I'm watching it, and I'm trying. I didn't know I was going to watch it real quick, Dibs, but there was so much like gentleness and passion of apprehending him there was no force or disgust, and that kind of hurt me. Like, this guy is beneath you know what I mean? Like, where's the anger? It just made me sick.
Yeah, no, enough said. And you're absolutely right, Goo. It's Liquidate All Assets here with Guru and Dibs on the BetQL network. Catch us on Sundays with Sunday's Bets. We're reunited again on Sunday, and it will feel so good. Let's talk MVP, Larry Bird Award, Magic Johnson Award.
Love it.
Steph Curry's minus 1,000. Andrew Wiggins is plus 2,000, 20-1. Any sense on throwing some chicken at Wiggs, or is this one already decided?
You know what? It's interesting, and I'm going to say it for the wrong reasons, Dibs. I feel like there is a narrative out there about Steph and awards and him getting kind of slighted or whatnot. Not that he's thinking about it or the Warriors, but if Andrew Wiggins, let's just say tomorrow night, goes out and has 32 points and Steph Curry might have 18, I'm wondering, would they forget profiles and give it to Wiggins, who I think is deserving? So I'd put a little money on Wiggins, but I'd also think this is Steph Curry. You look at every box score and you talk about the multiple 30-point games, Dibs, and he's been efficient from deep. So it's his to lose. But Wiggins would be, I don't want to say fun, but you have nothing to lose to put something on it with his odds because he's been playing his tail off.
He has. It would take a massive effort from Wiggins in Game 5, I think, in a bad game from Steph, in order to steal it. The other side, the Larry Bird Award, Eastern Conference MVP, Jason Tatum minus 110, Jimmy Butler plus 165. You may want to make this bet now before Game 5 because it feels like the Game 5 winner between these two will have the inside track to win the Larry Bird Award.
And you know what, Dibs, as much as I think Boston's going to win, I'm trying to decipher, who Tatum, is it Brown? But I could see him being a leader in the clubhouse, and he's had a couple stinkers. But Jimmy Butler, my God, plus money. And I don't think and this is no slight at any other Heat player, is his to lose, especially if they get it done. He's going to have to show up. So that's very attractive.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think when you look at tonight's game coming up here, Miami-Boston in about 2 hours' time, the winner of tonight's game, I think, will win the series. So if you think Jimmy Butler and Miami can win, you may want to get down on those plus odds now before tip time. It's Livermore Casino is sponsoring Liquidate All Assets, Goo, as I get tripped up here as we roll through the podcast and Sunday's bets on the BetQL network, of course, coming up this weekend. Let's talk some baseball bets, Goo, where, man, we got all kinds of action coming up this afternoon.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I had a hot morning. I had the Pirates, who were down 3 runs on the run line, plus 160. They come win 9-5. And then the Giants, I thought they were good. You didn't ask. Success stories. They were riding the euphoria last night. I had them on the run line, plus 155, and they come through and win. So good day there. But the White Sox are hosting the Red Sox. Rich Hill, and is it Giolito's Lito?
Yeah, Giolito.
Okay. He's got some arm talent. I like the under in this, Dibs. I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs. It's under 7.5, minus 120. And I think that's what's going to transpire. Maybe a 3-1 game, a 3-2 close game. And it's funny, I was looking at the White Sox run line, Dibs, but they stink on the run line at home. So I'm looking at that like, why would I go with them if they have lemon booty at home when it comes to covering by a couple of runs? So I'm going to go under.
I like it. Chicago, by the way, 5-10 on the run line as a home favorite. Boston, 11-5 as a road underdog. And 6 of the last 10 matchups between these two have been one-run games. The one thing that makes me a little bit cautious, Chicago's lineup does very well against lefties. They nuke lefties, according to E-Dog, with that note. And Boston's been hot lately. The Red Sox are first in WRC plus and WOBA, as well as hard hit rate, barrel rate, and WAR over the last 2 weeks. So the Red Sox bats have been hot. Just one thing to think about if you are playing the under.
Yeah, I love it, Dibs. And I got one more for you. I got to tell you, nobody's been talking about old Dusty, but the Astros are, last time I talked to you, they were not scuffling, but they're flying high right now. And one of my favorite pitchers to watch is Valdez, and he goes up against Plesac tonight as they host the Guardians. Still not used to not calling them their old name, right. But the run line for Houston at home is minus 105. I'm going there, Dibs. I think they handle business tonight. This guy keeps the ball in the park. And I just like what they're doing as a team, and Houston's going to be a factor. And this is after, losing some big bats.
Yeah, Astros 2-4 straight up as home favorites, 7-2 in their last 9 meetings with the Guardians. And Houston's lineup is among the top in all of baseball. And I like Framber Valdez, 3-2 with a 2.68. He's been great over his last 8 starts. How about one more, Goo? The battle in the AL West, the Rangers at Anaheim.
Anaheim is it just me, Dibs, and you could call me a front runner? They have become instantly one of my favorite watches. And it happened last year without Trout. It was just Ohtani, whether it be on the mound or at the plate. His power, along with Trout and the other players they got in that lineup, they are a team to watch. And right now, I just think, they're rolling, and they host the Rangers. And it just hasn't worked out, the acquisitions of Simeon and Seager as of yet for Texas. But the run line is plus 115 for your hometown Los Angeles Angels. And I got to take them, Dibs. I just think they're going to pound Glenn Otto. So I'm going Angels run line plus 115.
I like it, given the 1.5. And the Rangers are in the middle of a 3-city 10-game road trip, which opened up with Texas losing 3 of 4 against Houston. Texas is a team struggling. The Angels, by the way, 15-8 at home, and their OPS in the home yard is a very robust 760. This is Liquidate All Assets with Guru and Dibs, brought to you by Livermore Casino, the Tri-Valley's place to play, the only poker destination in the Tri-Valley, offering also blackjack, 3-card poker, baccarat with no player collection. Enjoy their 24-hour gaming floor, full bar and restaurant with indoor and outdoor patio seating. Watch all your favorite games at Livermore Casino, 3571 First Street in downtown Livermore. Tri-Valley's place to play. Please play responsibly. Goo, you couldn't possibly have puck picks, could you?
Oh, yeah, I do. And guess what? We saw the Nuggets and Jokic try, but they weren't healthy. But that town has been on fire about their Avalanche, and they got a chance to go back to the Western Conference Finals the first time, Dibs, since 2002, and they can close out St. Louis tonight, and I think they do it. And here I go, being greedy. The run line, no plus, but it's minus 105. I'm taking Colorado to punch that ticket and close out St. Louis. So I'm taking them minus 105 on the run line.
It's the puck line, but I'll allow it. It's the puck line. I'll allow it. But the Avalanche, by the way, came alive. They outscored the Blues 11-5 in those two games in St. Louis. You got Husso against Kumper in the nets between the two teams. I actually like St. Louis on this one. I think this is a series that will continue on, and the Blues are a team with championship pedigree. I don't think that they go out quite so easily. How about a Battle of Canada, Goo? Edmonton at Calgary.
All right, I'm going to share with you and the listeners my intel. The last game was 5-3. That's 8 goals. These two teams, they score, to me, what I deem a lot, Dibs. And right now I'm looking at the over 6.5 plus 110. I'm going there. I think there's going to be a lot of goals scored in this one. Score! And I'm taking that over 6.5. So I like that. And it's actually minus 115, Dibs. It's gone down. But I still like that. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm going to take the over. A lot of goals scored.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, his 7th straight multi-point game on Tuesday. The only player with a longer streak in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs is Wayne Gretzky. So that's pretty good company for Connor McDavid, the young Oiler, trying to emulate the old Oiler.
I got to say this because you brought up Gretzky. I say Gretzky, Lemieux. Who's better?
Oh, Gretzky.
Wow. That's
yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're quiet. People in Pittsburgh would disagree, though, huh? Or would they give you?
Yeah,
they would say no. He was the GOAT.
I think you'd have to say he's the GOAT. I mean, what Gretzky did, the seasons that Gretzky had individually as a passer, as a scorer, those are records that remain today. So I think you'd be hard pressed to make an argument for Lemieux, for Super Mario over the great one. What about Rangers Hurricanes, Goo?
You know what? Carolina's 5-0 at home. This series is tied 2-2. And I love New Yorkers since I went back to Manhattan. I'm rooting for them. But some's telling me Carolina, has that home ice advantage. So I'm taking Carolina on the money line to win this and take a 3-2 advantage.
I love it. Carolina straight up money line, and that is minus 140. I know the over-unders. It's actually minus 155, so you're going to have to lay a little bit. The puck line, minus 1.5 on the puck line. You could get plus money, plus 170, but a lot of these hockey games, and this series, by the way, deadlocked at 2 apiece, feels like it might be a 1-goal game, so you don't want to lay the puck line in a 1-goal scenario.
No doubt. I'm with you. And you were about to make a comment. You said a lot of these games are ending how so, Dibs?
Just either, at the buzzer in overtime or with an empty netter. And if you want the empty netter and you're winning by 1, you get the empty netter, and that'll cover the puck line for you.
I love it. And that's what I always I have based it on. But I've been getting burned here because that last goal's been going the other way. I'm like, I need the empty netter one. But it hadn't happened. But anyway, I'm excited. We got a lot. Hockey, hoops, baseball. And I got one more surprise. You tell me when you're ready for me to go.
No, I'm ready for the surprise, Goo, because I have a feeling it has to do with the WNBA. No one puts the W in NBA like you do, Goo.
I love you, and I'll tell you, the Storm handle business, but guess what? They're not playing tonight, but I watched them play Phoenix over the weekend, the Aces, my favorite team right now, and it's Phoenix being hosted by the Sparks, who are 1-4, Dibs, in their last 5, and I'm watching them play, and something just seems to be off. Also, Diana with Phoenix, something seems to be off there. But the line, I'm taking Diana and company tonight plus 1.5 to win in LA and continue LA's struggle. So it's going to be a close contest, but I got Phoenix pulling it out on the road and sending the Sparks to be 1-5 in their last 6.
Man, I like it. That's it's a tough one, but I like where you're going with that. And it's 1.5 point spread, and one of those games where it probably will be a close one. The Sparks, by the way, 1-4 in their last 5 against the spread, and the Mercury 2-3 in their last 5 against the spread. The totals have gone over for these two teams in 3 of 5. The over/under 166.5, which feels like a little bit of a big number to me.
Yeah, that is a lot of points. And Dibs, I just marvel at, a lot of these young ladies, you ain't seeing dunks through the air. But when you talk about fundamentals and their ability to finish buckets, I just have my popcorn like, this is incredible. Tried to get my young daughter to play. She plays volleyball, junior in high schools, got size, tall, some girth to her, Dibs. But I think we lost Dibs. She chose volleyball. But other than that, I think we're ready, E, and good luck tonight.